actually the core of what we do at Quikr. Every campaign, every decision that we take, we actually strongly measure the key metrics. So no campaign goes out without actually stating the campaign objectives and continuously monitoring it, taking course corrections based on the performance of the campaign, and finally, of course, evaluating the entire campaign in its entirety from an overall delivery perspective. So for example, we've had cases where we've cut down certain campaigns or we've removed certain bits of the campaign based on the performance of a particular campaign, or taken up the spends, vice versa, where we believe the campaign is delivered or not. So we continuously change the channel mix or the media mix that we have based on the performance of the campaign. Is at the core or the DNA of the organization. If you look at Quikr is a platform where consumers come with a specific intent to search, buy, sell, browse stuff. Now, if we do not provide that unique, the great experience of the consumer, the seamless journey of a consumer right through the entire platform, the consumer is not going to come back. That's one. Secondly, these consumers are a rich source of insights for us, which we then use it for our revenue generation. So therefore, a lot of the information that we capture about the consumers, whether it's their entire consumer journey or the time they're spending on the site, or what kind of content they're consuming on our site, is a very, very critical piece of information for our business, and therefore technology plays a big role there. Thirdly, as the marketeers ourselves, these consumers are the ones which are the most critical ones for giving us the revenues. Now, this is the kind of, we do the profiling of the consumers and reach out to them on other platforms based on the details that we have about the consumers. So both from monetization as well as from marketing perspective, the use of technology in giving a seamless consumer experience is very critical for us. It's absolutely critical in today's day and age of social media with real-time information available to consumers at all the time. Any brand which feels or thinks that they can get away with not listening to consumers and actually not responding in a near real-time basis is living in a fool's paradise. We have very strongly integrated what we call ORM systems, where we have a dedicated team which actually monitors not just social media, but also emails, telephone calls, and all other means of consumer interaction. Right? If you go to our Facebook page, you will actually see the fact that we are pretty quick in responding to any consumer comments. Now, whether it's a positive comment, it's a consumer complaint, or it's specific information that the consumer is seeking, we pretty much reach out to the consumer within the first hour and create a conversation with the consumers. Typically, this conversation we take it offline or in terms of in the inbox space and not necessarily on the social page itself. But as a result, we have one of the lowest levels, and we've done the benchmark with some of the other e-commerce players in the industry today. We have some of the lowest numbers in terms of consumer complaints actually coming on a social media channel, right? And our ability to resolve those in double quick time is something we are very proud of. One of those double-edged swords, right? Now today there is so much of data, there is so much of information available. One of the biggest challenges a marketer today that we face is actually to sift through this data, to be able to define what is meaningful, what is not meaningful, what are the insights one can derive out of the data, vis-a-vis just looking at data for the heck of data. And one can often get deluged or get swamped by the amount of data that is available. The second big challenge is really to say that convert the data into meaningful insights. Based on those meaningful insights, take some key decisions. If you have a wrong set of data or you're looking at the wrong kind of metrics, you may actually take a wrong decision based on that. Okay? So that's a big challenge about data. The third thing I think which is important from a data perspective is the sources of data. Are you getting the right data from the right source? And that's again, there is a lot of technology element involved in getting the right sources and the right kind of plugins that we have. But sources of data is also a very critical challenge. We look at it all the time, both in terms of we do not want to over-engineer and have too much of information and too much of tracking mechanisms. But at the same time, it's a constant balance that we have to strike between the right information, the right quantity and quality of information. This is the element of technology and measurability. One of the biggest changes that has happened in marketing is about accountability. Now, you would have heard about the classical statement, 50% of marketing is a waste. You just don't know which 50% is a waste, right? Now, With the advent of technology, marketeers like myself can be now directly held accountable. A lot of times earlier, the metrics were much more fluffy. There was stuff like, oh, the brand engagement went up, oh, the consumer excitement went up. Now, it's straight. You did a campaign, did you see it right in the search results? Did you see a jump in your traffic? Did you see a jump in your conversion levels? What are the cost of conversions that you do? Are you able to optimize that over a period of time? So I'm actually more accountable now as a marketeer, and which is a great thing because that keeps me on the toes, that keeps my teams on the toes, and there is a clear thrill in actually knowing the results as well. Earlier, a lot of times marketing results were, it's almost like getting the same feeling of seeing the direct impact of the campaign in near real-time basis. So that's a big shift.